money in a bank, there is a profit that is generated as a consequence of your money being held by the bank. Banking is a profitable business. When you put your money in a regular commercial bank or in a for-profit bank, even a locally owned for-profit bank, the profit from that money is going to go to the stockholders of the bank. When you put your money in a credit union, the profit from that money goes to the credit union. And credit unions are non-profit organizations, so they don't distribute that money as higher paychecks for the CEOs or for the stockholders. There are no stockholders, and the CEOs are credit union members who've simply decided to run for president of the credit union and work their way up, as it were, but they're not super well paid. So what the credit unions do is they use that money to reduce their fees or increase the interest that they pay. So the bottom line is it's always a benefit, or typically almost always a benefit, to be banking with a credit union as opposed to a big commercial bank. Mark Taylor-Canfield in Seattle. Hey, Mark, what's on your mind today?
Hey, Tom, I really want to encourage people to donate to Free Speech TV. It's more important than ever that we support independent media right now. And also, I'm writing over at Daily Kos. I have an article over there today about media democracy. It's got, I think, 150 comments or something, so apparently I'm sparking some discussion. And I'm also dealing with this over at my program on YouTube called the MTC Report. But I wanted to tell you a quick little story about my experience with the FCC. Because when Michael Powell was the head of the FCC and Democrats Copps and Adelstein were commissioners, Copps and Adelstein set up a series of hearings around the country about corporate media ownership consolidation, which is also a very big issue. This is what happens when you have the foxes watching the hen house, right, when the regulators are actually on the corporate side of things. Right. Well, the Republicans on the FCC are all about allowing media monopolies. So as a reporter for the Pacifica Radio Network, which was Free Speech Radio News at the time, I interviewed a group of professors from places like the University of Delaware, Fordham University, University of Michigan, who had been commissioned by the FCC to do research on the effects of increased corporate media ownership consolidation. Mm-hmm. But when I testified before the FCC on this topic, holding those reports in my hand, the FCC commissioners claimed not to know anything about the reports that they themselves had commissioned.
Whoa.
And the reports, of course, showed that corporate media ownership consolidation results in less ownership of media by women and minorities, less local news coverage, et cetera, et cetera. So the professors Napoli and Janich complained to me that they will never, ever do commissioned research work for the Federal Communications Commission again because their research was suppressed. And according to Professor Janich, it may have actually been a violation of administrative law when you commission scientists to work on a report for you, and then you bury that report and refuse to make it public. That's suppression of academic research, and it's totally unethical. And I wouldn't be surprised that it's happening today, but it definitely happened when Michael Powell was the head of the FCC, and it's only gotten worse since then, Tom. We really need to save our democracy, and one of the things that's so important is net neutrality. And also this idea of corporate media monopolies. I mean, pretty soon we're going to have one company like Disney or Fox, you know, and Rupert Murdoch owning everything that gets broadcast, except for maybe, you know, the programs that you do in Free Speech TV and some other independents. Yeah. But for the most part, what people are getting is owned by a very small group of
well, and the result of this big new Disney merger is going to be the Fox stockholders are going to end up owning 25% of Disney, which is pretty amazing. And
yeah, it's like,
you know,
one company.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy, Tom. Yeah. It's not what the FCC
it is anti-competitive.
Regulate.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is anti-competitive. Mark, thanks a lot for the call. Good talking with you. Yeah, it is nuts. Anyhow, it's Anything Goes Friday here on the Thom Hartmann program. We'll be back with more of your calls right after this. Stick around.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
And we're going to be talking, too, about the benefits of getting outside in a few minutes. Welcome back.